Hello everyone, my name is CheeseJayy, and today I'm going to be showcasing Super Mario Odyssey All Story Moons. For anyone that doesn't know what All Story Moons is, the goal of this category is to beat every single boss in the game and also collect every single story moon in the game, as the name would imply, and we'll get more into that in just a second and how it kind of differs from the World Peace category that you may be familiar with. But for now, I think I'm just going to give a countdown. We're going to start on go here. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so, all story the main two differences between this category and World Peace, which is the category where you just go through and kill all the bosses as fast as possible and beat the game, is two kingdoms specifically, Sand Kingdom and Snow Kingdom. In Sand Kingdom, we're going to be doing the Round Tower and the Shards Island that we usually skip over by doing a trick known as IP clip or IP skip, depending on your skill at the run. And so now we're going to be doing all four of the story rooms instead of doing a roll cancel clip or a moon clip to skip to the Bound Bowl race a little bit quicker. So this is just like the most thorough and no skips version of beating the game, essentially. And for this first kingdom here, which is just Cap, I'm just going to be going through and beating it as fast as possible. Like, there's nothing too crazy in this kingdom. This is just the introductory tutorial kingdom of the game. So there's nothing too crazy we can do here. And yeah, you may notice I'm playing in traditional Chinese, and that's just because it saves about 15 seconds or so over English. Just because there's less characters in the language than there is in English. And we're going to be getting to the first capture pretty quickly here. This is the frog. And with the frog, I can jump really high, and I can use it to traverse this little tower climb quite quickly. And I'm doing something known as vector jumps here, jumping at 45-degree angles just to save a little bit of time throughout the run. You'll also get an example of that in Moon Kingdom, but with Mario. And now I'm doing a trick nose left side, where I'm just scaling the left side of the hat as fast as possible, instead of the right side to save like 2 seconds. And this is Topper. Blink and you miss it. He'll be dead. Oh, whoops. Took damage. No big deal. And with that, we're done with Cap. We're going to be going to Cascade. And Cascade has arguably the hardest trick of the run. If not, it's either first or second. I always go back and forth because there's a trick in Metro that's really hard as well and precise. But this is Dino Skip Skip. If you've not seen an Odyssey run before, this is definitely the most precise trick, I would say. We're going to be trying to jump off like a couple pixel rock on a really massive wall here to skip up to the Madame Brutal fight really fast and save about 10 seconds over the old skip, which was Dino Skip. So I'm going to be doing that right after I grab this first moon. And this, if you don't know what a story moon is, this is actually a really good example. It's after I break open this rock that's directly ahead of me, you'll see it's these moons that are on the pedestal and give you like a really long cutscene of Mario like flying around after you grab them. So right there, that's an example of a story moon. I'm going to be grabbing every single one of these throughout the entire run and not skipping over any of them. This is like the glitchless or no skips version of the run, essentially. There are a couple of tricks I'm still going to be doing, but nothing that's going to be skipping any major part of the game. Okay, I'm going to lock in for this trick here. It may take, if it takes me a try or two, that's okay. It's a very hard trick. And if I have to give up on it, that's no big deal either. Ah, that was really close. I'm going to give it like another try maybe and then move on. One more try. You can see what I'm going for here. There's like a couple pixel platform there. There we go. I'll take third try. Oh my god, I thought I overshot that jump. Okay, that is no script skip as well right after DSS there. And now we can fight the Madame Brutal fight. Do the Madame Brutal fight. This is the first real boss of the run if you don't count Topper. What we're going to be doing here is sandwiching the chain chomp between Mario and Cappy here to knock its head off and then immediately capture it. This is one of the first like boss fast strats that is taught to beginners, I would say. It's a very easy skip. Just about anyone can do this. It's just like timing of just a few inputs there. Okay, and with that, we're almost done with the first kingdom here. I'm going to be doing one more trick before leaving this kingdom, and that's going to be chest clip. Just going to be doing what's known as a moon clip to clip through the ceiling using the next moon I'm going to grab here. Essentially what I'm going to be doing is opening a chest here that's going to be right below my spawn after I spawn in here. And during the moon, right while the moon's spawning in, I'm going to be doing a backflip and then a cap there with precise timing. That'll like jump Mario backwards during the moon grab animation, and that'll clip him through the ceiling. And I could get back up to this globe to leave the kingdom just a little bit quicker here. See if I can get it. Maybe that's gonna be an iffy one. I got it, but I bonked on it. There's a pebble that's like right in my way there. At least you got to see what I was going for. Okay, and with that, we are done with Cascade Kingdom. We're gonna be moving on to Sand. And like I said, Sand is the first of two kingdoms that is majorly changed from the World Peace route. We're going to be doing the Round Tower in the Shards section. Typically, like I said, you could skip over these with a trick known as IP skip. And it saves like it probably saves like 2 minutes or something, but these are really cool sections that are not usually shown off. Sorry, I had to, there's a skip there that you saw. Yeah, I have to, because I'm on the newest patch on the Switch too. Everything loads a lot faster, and there's an action guide that usually comes up there, but if you like jitter mash really hard the B button, you can have the action guide not spawn in, but yeah, it's really hard on Switch too, because everything loads really fast. Typically on the Switch 1, it was a lot freer. You could like literally just press the B button once and get it, but now you have to like literally jitter mash. Okay, let's see if I can get this bird midair here. Okay, good backup. Not a big deal. There we go, good backup. That bird is really precise to get midair. Okay, and then after this next moon here, I'm going to be doing a trick known as Dram Strat, where I'm going to be doing an up throw with Cappy, and then holding him out, and then after I grab the moon, I'm going to be shaking to home into the bill. And hopefully teleporting Mario back up to the top of the platform, if everything goes well. Go back up there. There we go, that should work. Yep. And now I'm going to be going for another skip in this 2D section here. There's a lot of skips in this little first half of Sand. There we go. I'm just going to be doing some full bill bounces here. There we go. And that just lets me skip a bit of platforming in this 2D section. And this is the second storyman of the run, and the first one in Sand. And now we're going to be going on to the Shards section. And this section was somewhat recently rerouted by Krazalu in the chat here. Or at least he recently shared it with me. I believe he came up with the Shards route that I'm be showcasing here. This is a much more difficult routing of the Shards on this island. But it's definitely faster, so hopefully I can nail it. And if I mess up, I could very easily die and lose a lot of time, so hopefully that doesn't happen. There we go. Perfect. That was perfect execution. That's like the cleanest I've ever done that. Perfect. And that's the second storyman. And now the round tower is going to be opened up. And we can go into the round tower and traverse through there. Yeah, it's very easy to die on that jumping off those two invisible platforms there. That's definitely the most risky bit. Warping back to the round tower here to get to the... Or warping back to the round tower to enter the inverted pyramid here. Perfect. Okay, now typically you could still do IP skip to skip over this inverted pyramid section entirely, but that, for anyone that doesn't know, IP skip is a very precise, like, world record level check, and I'm just not very consistent with it, so I've actually never done it, so I just opt to go through here, and I collect a moon on the way through as well to kind of make it worth my while. Oh, whoops. Let's not die or take damage. Perfect. Go back up. Oh, whoops. I could not really make that work. Using the iframes, though, to my advantage. Now, the moon I like to grab is right around this corner here. Oh my gosh. There it is. There's one moon I like to grab. And now we're going to be finishing up the round tower, or I keep saying round tower, like, we're going to be finishing up the inverted pyramid here to start up the Harriet boss fight, which is the first of 2 boss fights here in Sand Kingdom. And it's the first big, long kingdom in the run that we're going to do that has 2 boss fights, whereas Captain Cascade both only had 1. Okay, and now I'm going to be standing in specific spots in this arena here to manipulate Harriet so she jumps the least amount of times before throwing out her bombs for me to hit back at her. And I'm also just hitting the bombs back into her while she's UFOing to skip that phase as well. Lots of little skips you can do with these brutal fights here to save little bits of time. This is definitely the easier version of Harriet. Definitely the easier version of Harriet we're gonna see. We're gonna see a much harder version of the Harriet fight in Bowser's Kingdom later, towards the very end of the run. Okay, and with that, we are halfway through Sand Kingdom. 1 to 2 bosses done. Okay, and we're going to be warping right back up to that round tower now, and entering into the underground to make our way over and kill Nucleotech, which is the final boss of this kingdom here. Perfect. There's a bunch of mummies that spawn in during Night Sand there, so I have to do a little bit of slow, careful movement there to make sure I don't take damage to any of them, so that would be quite slow. This section has a bunch of really cool movements, so if I can nail all of it. I really like that RCB there. Whoops, let me try that again. I was a little bit far away there. Supposed to do 2 opposite the Goomba. I don't know what I was thinking. Perfect. Got that instant capture with the builder. That's a newer strat I've been at again. To capture that build really fast and not have to wait for it at all. And I'm going to be trying to do that exact same thing again for this next bullet bill capture. There we go. 2 instant captures. Look at that. That was beautiful. And now we're going to be fighting the Nucleotech boss fight. This is your typical fist punch in the face boss that you see in like Mario 64 or whatever other Mario game. This boss fight's been done a handful of times throughout the Mario franchise. I'm also rolling down the center of the arena here just to save a second for each phase. So 2 seconds in total. I'm doing it twice. It just makes the fist come back to the boss quicker. And I'm also standing in between the pointer, finger, and thumb here to make the ice ball a more favorable pattern closer to the hand, so I can capture the hand and then get punched in the face just slightly quicker. Okay, now I just have to dodge the hands here. Okay, I might take intentional damage there, just keep the hands close. And with that, we are done with Sand Kingdom now. Just like that. And now we can go on to Lake Kingdom. Lake Kingdom is a very quick kingdom that you're going to see. It's much quicker than Sand was here. Lake's only going to be like less than 3 minutes. I'm pretty happy with how that Sand went. That was pretty clean all the way through. My run should be done in just over an hour, like an hour 5 minutes from now. I should be getting like a mid 120. So like right around 8 o'clock-ish Eastern. No problem, Troll Face. Okay. Done with Sand. Like I said, we're just gonna mash through the text here, just go to Lake first. That's just the fastest option. Okay. So Lake, all we have to do is fight Rango. That's the only boss here. If you are a more regular Odyssey viewer, you would recognize this route as like the old school 90% route that was done back in like 2017. So I'm not doing anything too crazy here. Typically in the more modern routes, you would do a trick known as Lake Clip, but that just ends up not being fast in this category. So yeah, just grabbing a handful of regular mins that just are directly in my path, and then doing a small skip to get up to Rango quickly. So we get to say hi to our good old pal Dory here. And grab a moon from this pillar. Okay, now I'm going to be doing like a little mono skip here with the fish, just to hop up to Rango pretty fast. Just using the height I get from uncapturing that fish to wall jump up and then get into the Rango fight quick. And now I'm going to just be ground pounding through his body here, because it doesn't have a hitbox to skip a bunch of his, this fight. This fight's a pushover. Okay, and with that, we're going to be going on to Wooded, which is another one of those bigger, longer kingdoms, just like Sand. We're going to be fighting 2 bosses, Spirit and then Torque Drift. Okay, just gotta glow my moons. There we go. And with that, we're on to Wooded. Yeah, thank you, Trollface. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to showcasing this on the GDQ stage. It's gonna be a lot of fun. This category is very underappreciated. Not very many people have run this. I mean, over time, people have run it, but this is not a very actively run category anymore. I'm probably like one of the only people that runs this category presently. But I really like it. I think it's better than World Peace. It shows off parts of the game that are, I think, pretty fun and don't really get shown in any category other than, like, almonds. Okay, doing the typical 2-moon start here that you would see in pretty much any category. The bunny and then the rock. Those moons are just very fast. It's hard to beat the speed of those moons. Okay, now I'm going to be doing a trick known as nut clip. And then transitioning that into gate skip here. That looks like I got the nut clip portion. Perfect. Hopefully I don't mess this up. Good. Oh, whoops. Well, get back up there. That's fine. Yeah, so I skipped by doing that out of bounds clip and then that long jump there. I skipped over pulling a lever and watching a cutscene to open a gate, essentially, saving like 10 seconds. Okay, now we're just going to be bum rushing Spirit from here. This is the last regular moon I'm grabbing in this first half of Wooded. Two, three. Actually, I lied. There's one more regular moon I'm grabbing. I forgot about. In my mind, this next moon kind of just is part of the 2 skips I'm going to do here. I'm doing a skip here called Fly Road Skip to save 2 seconds by not hitting that P-switch and taking the Fly Road, and then I'm doing a trick known as Tower Skip so I don't have to go in the tower and do that slow auto-scrollery part. Let me try this again. There we go. I thought I was short on that again. Perfect. Now for tower skip. That's fine. There we go. I'll take it. Tower skip's very awkward to get a jump out as soon as you land on the tower edge there. Now we're fighting Spirit. This is another one of those, like, push-over brutal fights. And I'm doing something similar to what I did to Madame Brood in Cascade, where I'm just sandwiching Spirit between Mario and Cappy. So I can knock off the hat and then immediately land on him. And with that, we're halfway done with Wooded. And now we're going to be climbing the kingdom again, just in a slightly different way to make our way up to the Torque fight. And Torque Drift is the longer and a little bit more challenging boss fight here in Wooded. There are a few ways to speed up Torque Drift, but it is sort of auto-squirrery, unfortunately. So doing a bit of climbing here. And then doing some movement with Mario to get inside and grab this behind the rock wall moon that I shot open with the tank. And then I can showcase the rocket flowers. These are a tool that makes Mario go very fast. And I can use them to get over to this nut here. Lots of nuts we're collecting here in Wooded. That's kind of the theme of this kingdom. And now I'm going to be able to use this tank and shoot these targets. To grab the last Storyman I need before fighting Torque Drift. That was a really good dodge of that bomb there. I, like, saw it out of my peripheral. Okay. Perfect. And now we're gonna get to fight Torque Drift. There is a small bit of movement I can do using this uproot capture here that you're gonna see me capture as soon as I start the fight, and that's gonna be known as speeding up boy. Essentially, if I jump off this uproot spawning platform in a very specific way, I can get a lot of speed with them and kind of dodge the fall stun you usually get with them whenever you hop around. So obviously I don't have it yet, but I'm going to be going for it during this, like, after this first phase here. Yeah, I think I have it now, actually. And as long as I don't go completely neutral on my stick, I should be able to keep a good bit of speed with this guy and save a handful of seconds throughout the fight. Yeah, I think I have it. Looks good. And now I'm just dodging the lasers here. Yep, just hopping around and dodging some lasers, and then I'm going to break open some more rocks here. This fight is very samey in all three phases here. There we go. One more phase. I think I may have lost it. I don't know. It's very hard to tell. Whoops, I took damage. No big deal. Very hard to tell if I actually have it or not. There we go. 2 more blocks I gotta break. And with that, we are done with Torque Drift. Okay. Making good progress here in this run. We're done with what I would consider the early game of this run. And now we're going to be going on to Cloud Kingdom, which is just a Bowser fight. There's no moons or anything for me to grab in Cloud. I still think it's a pretty cool boss fight. I like the Cloud fight. Okay, so there's going to be a trick I'm going to be going for here in Cloud known as Fast Hats. And essentially, if I jump and throw Cappy right as Bowser throws his hat at me, I can instantly grab it and not have to worry about running around the arena and bringing it all the way back to him like you would do in a casual playthrough. It saves a couple of seconds each phase. I think it's like 10. It might be like upwards of like 10 seconds each phase or something. It's a pretty significant time save. And after I grab the hat, I'm also going to be punching Bowser in a specific way to manipulate him to jump the least amount of platforms, saving like a second or two each phase. So there is a good bit of time save that go into this short minute-and-a-half kingdom. Short minute-and-a-half boss fight. So hitting him diagonally there, so he flies far away and then only jumps one platform. And then showcasing the fast hats again here, hopefully. Yep, I almost didn't get that one. There we go. And then I take damage on this one just to dodge those purple hats. That's intentional damage. Doesn't save or lose any time to take that hit. Okay, now I'm going to be doing a trick in Lost here known as Meme Tree, and that's just to skip over the Klepto trigger so I don't get Cappy stolen while I'm traversing throughout this kingdom. Definitely makes my life a lot easier and faster. Whoops, I missed that ground pound. I don't like where I'm positioned on this ledge. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I missed the cycle I was going for here with these platforms, so I'm just gonna do this. There's a slightly faster bit of movement I could do there, but I can't do it if I'm off cycle, unfortunately. I need the platform to be directly ahead of me. Oh, whoops. I dropped a spin pound there. My bad. Or a roll boost, rather. I love that roll cancel when it goes clean to sneak in this pillar and grab that moon. And then using some tricky camera nip there to spawn that moon. There's a block that's in the way typically, but you can off-screen it so the game thinks it doesn't exist anymore and have that torpedo fly right through it. That's essentially what I was doing there. I think I stalled enough to get Cappy back here, I hope. Yep. That was a really good backup. Not my cleanest loss, but pretty solid. The loss is a very fun kingdom because it's so fast-paced all the way through. You get moons so fast in that kingdom. Okay, going into Night Metro here, which is going to give us the next boss fight. And that's going to be the Mecha Wiggler. There's not very many moons available here in Night Metro, so we just kind of bum rush the Mecha Wiggler and grab the few moons that are directly in our path here. I think there's only like 5 moons available in this portion of the game before Day Metro. There we go. And typically there's like a whole story section you have to go through, but if you just do some basic platforming on this, using that parasol there, you can skip over all of it. Burger sandwich. And then I'm doing some fancy movement here by bouncing off this Goomba. I typically like to go for a triple jump off that fence there, but it did not work out in my favor this time. I think I held A slightly too long in the double jump. This freaking pillar always gets in my way. Okay, and now we're going to be scaling up this Night Metro Tower section. Using these pulls, I can just wall jump back and forth really fast. And then using a fancy long jump here, I can skip over going the long way there. The camera does fight me on that long jump, so it is a little bit tricky. And now we get to fight the Mecha Wiggler. This is another boss fight that uses the tank capture here. Well, it's the first one, but we saw the tank capture a little bit earlier. So I'm just using motion controls with the tank to aim and hit the bubbles, and hopefully get this fight done in 2 phases, with that being the first. And now I'm going in specific spots in the arena to manipulate the Wiggler so it travels the least amount of distance. There we go, and one more travel phase here, and then I get to shoot at the Wiggler again. Okay, now let's see if I can get a 2-cycle here and nail all these shots. I missed one, no. Okay, get back up. So yeah, the way the Wiggler moves on that wall there is completely RNG. There's like, I think 22 different patterns that a lot of speedrunners have memorized. So they know where to shoot and when. I haven't memorized the patterns. I haven't gone that far. Okay. And now we're going to be rounding up all the musicians to start up the New Donk City Festival here. This is what a lot of people consider to be their favorite portion of the whole game, and I love the New Donk City Festival as well. Casually, it was probably easily the best part of the game. But before that, I'm going to be showcasing another dram shot here. This one's a lot easier and beginner-friendly. Just grabbing this minute and then teleporting back. And then I'm going to be trying to clip into a cage using a scooter here. Hopefully this doesn't take me too long. There we go, first try. Took me a little bit of setup, but I got it first try, and that's what matters. And then doing another dram shot here to grab this pole. Or pylon, whatever you want to call it. And then going straight to Pauline so I can talk to her and then start rounding up the musicians. Hi, Pauline. Perfect. Okay, 3 more musicians I gotta grab. I already got the first one that Pauline is too blind to find. Oh, good dropped input there. Okay, here's the second, right on this park island here. What a lot of people refer to as OTEP. And now we're going to be warping back to the start of the kingdom to grab the third musician. Warping to Main Street here. And then there's another musician right here. Would you look at that? Right past talking to here. Okay, and now we're going to be warping to the top of the kingdom, grabbing 2 quick mins, and then going to the last musician. Then after I grab this last musician, I'm going to be doing what is arguably the hardest trick of the run. Like I said, it's either that or DSS and Cascade. And I'll explain that once I get there. But first, we're going to be grabbing this min above the pole here. And then bullseyeing this next min here. Perfect. And then doing a little bit of a fancy long jump there to make it over to this guy. That was a really good musician split there. Musician's collection. Wow, that's actually... That was like a 12-second gold. That was really good. Okay. Now I'm going to be doing the hardest trick in the run, arguably, which is sewer clip. Essentially, I'm going to be going on top of this sewer or this pipe that you're going to see once I get into the sewers portion here, and trying to do a roll cancel to clip through this wall here and save a handful of seconds. Hopefully this doesn't take me too long. Come on, clip through the wall, Mario. There we go. That was pretty solid for my standards. That trick can very easily either take me like 20 seconds or 3 or 4 minutes. It can go really either way, so that went really well. And with that, we're going to be able to turn back on the power to do the festival. And we're going to be able to celebrate Mario. And we're going to be able to get our jam emotes out. Perfect. Okay. Now we just have to talk to Pauline and tell her we're ready for the festival. Let her know. Inform her. Look at that, she's so happy now. Okay, festival time. And this is a 2D platforming section with incredible music. And I am on a cycle in this section here with the barrels falling, so hopefully I don't take too much damage. That hit is typically unavoidable for me, at least with skipping over the secret moon here, just because the secret moon ends up being too slow. Okay, final screen here. And this is arguably the hardest part. Good barrel dodge. That's fine. That damage is fine. Typically, damage doesn't matter in the festival as long as you're not dying. Defeated DK, and we're done with Metro now. Perfect. Last 3 minutes. Okay, and now we get to leave Metro and go into Snow, which I mentioned earlier is the second and final kingdom that is changed from the regular World Peace category here. Dang, that was... Wow, that's really weird. I just beat my gold by like 40. That's ridiculous. I don't even know what happened, what went wrong. I guess Circle was just really good there. These must not be my actual splits. Oh, maybe I didn't. I don't know. That's really weird. It looked like less. Okay. I think my splits might just be messed up. Okay, on to Snow here. And like I said, this is another changed kingdom from World Peace. And the main change is just, instead of doing the moon clip or the roll cancel to skip and get into Bound Bowl really quickly, we're going to be doing all 4 story moons and opening up all 4 barriers here. Pretty much doing it the complete intended way. But with a couple of skips in the rooms. Because I am still a speedrunner. I can take the intended route, but I am going to still try to skip stuff. But before that, I'm going to be grabbing a couple quick mins here, just in Chavaria. Oh, whoops. That's a bonk. There we go. Get back up. So as it turns out, between the multi-moon for the race and all the story moons I'm going to get in these rooms, I only need 3 normal moons for the whole kingdom. So that's number 2, and I'm going to be grabbing 1 more for number 3. Stop bonking, please, Mario. Really? Okay. Okay, now we're going to be going into the first of 4 rooms here. And this is the Ringo room. And we're not going to be grabbing the secret moon in any of these rooms, like I said. We only need story moons from this point forward. Okay, this is the Ringo boss fight now. Another one of those brutal boss fights, except on ice. So slightly harder than the lake one, I would say. But not much more difficult. Still the exact same strats. And I like to abuse this moon platform here so I don't have to deal with ice physics. Okay, and now the next room I'm going to be going into is the poison room, and this probably is one of my favorite skips that we're going to do here in this kingdom. Okay. pretty good. It's very easy to bonk entering this room. Okay. And I'm going to be using the Bully Joey's Gust here to hopefully skip over everything in this room. Oh, that was really close. I almost took damage to him and died. There we go. Yeah, you just get skipped over everything using the Gust you get from the Bully Joey. You get a ton of speed there. Okay. Oh, I didn't get the pipe suck there. Okay, now this next room is the shards room. There's gonna be 5 different shards I have to grab here with Mario and Cappy. Hopefully quickly. It's going well so far. And now I have to climb to the top and grab that storm man I just spawned by grabbing the shards. Okay, and now one more storm in, and then we could go do the Bound Bull race. Perfect. And this is another really cool skip. It's not very difficult or input heavy, but it just looks cool. Using the ice physics there to do a jump with Mario just to skip over everything in this room. And with that, we can do the Bound now, which is another really fun world piece. The festival in Bound birthday back is really fun. I really enjoy the Bound. Okay. And not sliding on the slide there, just a little bit faster to skip over doing that. And if you go to the side here, you should be able to skip the false in that you usually get when you enter this area. And now I'm going into this room to grab the racer I need to do the race. Perfect. And now I need to bring him back to the Papa Shavarian. That's how I'm going to call him. And this movement here is very awkward. There's, like, no good way of doing this bit, like, fast, other than just, like, putting on the brakes. So you don't bound over the place crazily. That was pretty good. Okay. Time for the Bound Bull race. This is a race where I just get to bound around and bounce with this guy for 3 laps. I'm not, like, super great at this race. I would say I'm okay at it. So the way you want to do this optimally is just not by getting the big bounds, typically. There are a handful of spots, like, right here and right here, where you do kind of want big bounds, but for the most part, you don't really want them, because it gives you, like, unnecessary air. Going well so far. Okay. Almost done. Yeah, 55 is solid for me. I will take that. Okay. There we go. And with that, we're done with Snow. And just a handful of kingdoms left. We're going on to Seaside here. Okay. Done with snow there. Okay, on to Seaside, and the boss we're going to be fighting here in Seaside is known as Brigadier Maulus Lancer III to Phantom Blaine. Yes, that is his canonical name. And this is another kingdom just with just one boss to fight in this kingdom. But before we can spawn him, we need to grab these first 4 story moons. And then hit these buttons. Whenever I hit these red buttons, I'm going to be knocking a peg into his head and making him angry slowly. And you're going to notice he spits more and more bombs out throughout the kingdom for me to dodge as I hit more buttons. That's 1. And now I'm doing a skip that is intended by the developers, actually, where you take this Gushin on top of here and fly all the way over into this Lighthouse Moon. That's actually supposed to keep that Gushin alive, but that's okay. Put in number 204. This is the backup. I can take these rocket flowers all the way over to this fish here. Not a big time loss. Typically, I want to fly with the Gushin over to this fish. There we go. And then we're grabbing the second Dory Moon in the game. There's actually one more Dory Moon in the game, but it's in post-game and not grabbed here. And then I need to hit this, grab this moon underwater here, hit him beneath the lava. Then I need to fly up and grab that button. Hit that button again. For number 304. Oh, I almost took damage to this guy. Okay, now I'm going to be taking this guy all the way back to the Odyssey. And then grabbing him in that's right up there. Which is typically the first main you see in the kingdom for most speedruns, but we save it for later so we can use the Gushin to get up there. Which is a little bit faster. Yeah, it's a little bit finicky to get that guy up there. And now we get to grab the last Storyman and do the boss fight. Okay, and to do this boss fight, we're actually going to be just manipulating him a bit, trying to get... He goes to set spots in the kingdom, you'll notice, and I'm trying to beat him to all the set spots to have him do a little bit of a glitch here that you'll see. There we go. This is definitely one of the more tricky boss fights and skips to do throughout the run, so hopefully I nail it. Oh crap. That should be fine. Okay. Beat him to the first spot. I guess the second spot. Now this is the hardest part. I have to beat him all the way over to the hot spring now. I have to stay ahead of him this whole time. Lucky. Make it, make it, make it. Perfect. Okay. And then you saw, because I beat him in the hot spring, he did a little bit of speedrunning there himself and clipped through the hot spring for me to hit him on the backside really quickly, rather than going the long way around. Okay, and with that, we only have one more kingdom that is World Peace specific, or has World Peace routing after lunch, and the rest is just any percent routing. So it's the lunch since the last game. I have to go on my way for a boss fight. Okay. So lunch into another kingdom with two bosses you're going to see. The first of which being Spirit again, the same guy we saw in Wooded. And the fight is actually a lot harder, believe it or not. You're going to notice the boss fight arena we're going to be fighting Spirit in is a rectangle, and that makes the fight significantly harder, you'll see. Very different from Wooded. Going for a trick out the gate known as Salt Triple, by the way. Oh, no! That's unfortunate. This trick's very precise. There we go, I'll take a second try. Okay. Okay, here's the much harder spear fight I was mentioning earlier. Hopefully I don't die to him. Significantly harder. Okay. Phew, that fight was so hard, guys. Almost impossible. Okay, now I'm going to be making my way over to the Cheese Storyman to further progress the kingdom. Cheeky little triple jump here, hopefully. I love that movement. Okay, then there's a little bit of a crate I have to grab here. Oh, I hate it. There we go, I'll take that. This one is so awkward to get to work. Don't jump away. Perfect. That guy was very close to jumping away. Okay, pretty clean cheese. The hammer throwing with the Pambros is RNG. It's a little bit random what direction he throws the hammers in. So it can be a little bit precise to get that to work out. Okay, and now I'm going to be grabbing this Torchman. And I'm going to be doing a fancy triple jump to make it all the way over this mountain. And then behind it to grab this moon. And then we're making it up to the a multi-moon I have to grab before I can start the Cockatiel boss fight. Oh, there we go. And that is the meat multi-moon. Okay. Okay. And now we get to start the climb up to the kingdom again, because that's going to put us back at the Odyssey. And we're going to be making our way all the way up to the Cookie Dough boss fight. There's a bit of a climb we have to do now. This timer challenge. to do a little bit of a tricky triple combo. Happy to do this. This entire section is really scary because there's a lot of really precise movement in it. Perfect. Holy crap, that was the best I've ever done that. Okay, now we're entering into the volcano cave. And this entire section is on cycles, so I had to make sure I did that movement there perfectly. And now with that, we can make our way up to the Cookadoo boss fight. And the Cookadoo boss fight is a bird I have to fight. You ain't gonna notice there's a pretty silly skip I get to do during it. And this entire boss fight is very janky and probably, it's easily the most jank boss fight. There's a lot of hitboxes that are just broken and don't work in my favor. And I can get hit by or I can run into invisible walls. It's not very fun. But before that, I get to do some fun KFR-esque movement to make my way up there really fast. There we go. Yeah, if you don't know what KFR is, it's just like a race minigame that you can do in every Kingdom Impost game, and that's the exact movement they would do in that race to complete it really fast. And now to kill Cookatail fast here, we have to hit him in the butt, just like that. And there's also falling vegetables that you're going to see I have to dodge. That's also RNG which direction he goes here. Right or left? Oh, I was almost too slow for that. Also, these little, like, chunks in the arena are really annoying. I constantly run into all of them. Oh, wait, I always forget. I have to wait for this. There we go. That was perfect. That was like a perfect second half. That was probably the best second half I've ever done in Luncheon here. Okay, and with that, we're done with all the World Peace Kingdoms. The rest is just... Okay. But next up we have Ruined, which is unfortunately a bit of an auto-scroller. There's not a whole lot you can do to speed up this fight. This is a dragon boss fight I'm going to have to do here. And there's no real way to speed it up. You'll see once I get into it. There we go. Okay. No, I just have to wait. So during this laser phase, there's no way to speed up. All you have to do is wait for him to shoot 2 sets of lasers. And there is a little minor time save we can do to save small bits of time in this fight that I'm going to do right now. The dragon's going to fall down, and then I could damage boost to get on top of him a little bit early. And that just assures that I'm on top of the dragon as soon as he stops being invulnerable, and I can pull the sword frame 1. So it's not a super big time save. But yeah, just makes the fight more consistent. Not a whole lot I can do here other than do my fancy Mario Odyssey movement that I like doing with the spin pounds and the roll cancels. And making sure I'm pulling out these swords as fast as possible. Lots of laser rings here I have to dodge on this phase. Perfect. Last phase here. Okay, and with that, the Ruined Dragon is not dead, but badly concussed. If you come back up to this guy after you kill him, you can still talk to him, and he's still here. But he is definitely badly concussed. Okay, final two kingdoms. Just Bowser's and Moon left. Perfect. Okay, now going on to Bowser's. Bowser's is a very scripted kingdom in the sense that I can't really break the story in any way. Not that I'd be allowed to because I'm doing on story mins, but in any percent even, you're not able to skip any of the story mins just because nothing, future boss fights and stuff don't trigger unless you do everything in the exact order the game wants you to do it in. So we're going to be going straight to the first story moon now, which is the Ogre story moon. Perfect. That was a perfect beginning there. Textbook. And now we're going to be transitioning into probably the hardest movement part of the run, I would say, which is the shards story moon here. The shards section. I'm going to have to grab 5 shards with very precise movement. Hopefully it goes well. It's very flashy if it goes well. Oh, come on. What? No, I'm losing so much time. Come on. There we go. I'll take it. Okay, that was a little bit messy. Okay, back on track now. That dive back shot was not working out in my favor there. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to be going for a trick known as Bowser's Dram to grab this next moon. No, come on. This trick is so finicky. Can't get it. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna give it one more try and then give up. There we go. There we go. It's so precise to get that spin pound. Oh, well. Not a very clean bunnies, but what are you gonna do? I think this run was PB pace, but I think I just killed it in this bunnies, unfortunately. But that's okay. Okay, now we're fighting Topper. Essentially doing the same thing we did all the way back in Cat Kingdom, just stomping on him like that, and then stomping on his ass to make it so he doesn't go roaming around anywhere. The only difference is there's more hats here. Okay. Okay, doing a trick there known as Star Bomba to get that bomb to float in the air. And using that floating bomb, I can skip a phase on this fight. Oh, I hit it the wrong way. Okay, yeah, this is a really sloppy bunnies. This is a mockery of a bunny split, I'll be honest. That's okay, though. Very unfortunate. Okay, if I lock in, I could still eke out a 120 here. It's gonna be really tight now, though. Actually, no, I can't. I would need to gold something, which isn't impossible. Never say never. Oh my god, I have a 120.59 BPT. That's crazy. For reference, my PB is like a 120.30 something. Okay. Now we get to make it up to the Mecha Brutal boss fight, which is one of the flashiest boss fights in the whole run, I would say. But before that, I gotta grab this one crit spin here. And then I gotta do some blind platforming here out of this fight. The camera definitely fights me here. There we go, that works. Okay, just gotta finish up this climb at the Tokyo, and then we get to fight the mech. Typically, to fight this guy, you want to use the bird and knock balls back into the mech to knock it over. And then poke into all the bubbles, but that is multiple minutes too slow, so I'm going to be doing something a little bit more flashy than that. This boss has been driving me up a wall recently. There we go, I'll take a second try. There we go. Essentially, just using Mario and Cappy to stay on top of the mech here and break all the bubbles with spin pounds. That's the goal here. Oh, it's just a little bit too early there again. Perfect. And then ending it off with a trick known as target acquired there. Looking like this is going to be a low 121. Very low 121. Which is perfectly acceptable. Only playing within a minute of my PB here, which is not bad at all. This was absolutely PB pace going into Bowser's, I think. Right? It was borderline. It was going to be within like 10 of PB before this mockery of a Bowser's. No big deal, though. Okay, leaving now. If I have like a perfect Moon Kingdom, I might be able to barely eke out a 120 here. I'm just gonna be fighting Bowser and then escaping the moon. Okay, but before we can fight Bowser, we gotta get to Bowser. And there's those vectors again that I mentioned all the way back in Cap Kingdom, except with Mario this time. And then using the low gravity of the moon to roll over that moonstake and then roll over that little ledge. And now we're going to be going to the back of the moon cave here and getting on top of the Sphinx to skip over the moon cave and save a couple of minutes. Oh, whoops. There we go. That was a little bit messy, but it worked out. Okay, now we're going to be going to the Bowser fight and fighting Bowser. Using a little bit of a spin throw there to grab the hat and then bring it to Bowser a little bit quicker. That was actually really close. I almost screwed up that skip. And then this fire part is actually a force scan, believe it or not. I can jump very low and just go right over it. I don't even really need to jump. You can actually roll and bonk over it. And then the same fast that strat I did in Cloud. And then one more phase of fast hats after this. There's the white hat. Perfect. Okay, final 2 minutes of the run here. Just gotta escape the moon now. I'm gonna be walking a straight line here to get up to the 2D section. And then we're gonna be going through a 2D section, and then we can knock down the 4 pillars and then escape the moon, and time's gonna be when we escape the moon here. Okay, there we go. Doing a skip now is 2D skip there. Taking 2 tries on it, though. Okay. Final room in the game coming up here. Okay, if I get a sub-minute pillar, I could eke out a 120, just barely. It was gonna be a little bit easier, but then I screwed up 2D skip in the 2D section, unfortunately. I think that's good. I did one extra to be safe. Oh, those fireballs were atrocious. Are you kidding me? They all got eaten by each other. Oh my... Okay, well, this is not a 120, unfortunately. Actually, maybe. I think it is, just barely. Wow. Okay, time's come up in about 5 seconds here. And time. Jeez, I just barely eked out that 120. Holy crap. Wow. 120.59 on my timer. That was a pretty solid run all the way through. I'm pretty happy with that. It was actually my first finish. Yeah, that was my... Yeah, that was my first finished run back to this category. I've been derusting it a little bit all week, but I haven't finished a run yet. I'm pretty happy with that. This is actually 120 is my goal time for the SGDQ stage, so I'm pretty happy with that. Barely eked it out. But if you want to see more from me, I stream over on twitch.tv/CheeseJayy with 2 Ys, and I upload YouTube content on rare occasion on youtube.com/@CheeseJayy with 1 Y. But yeah, that's all I have. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We enjoyed having you.
I appreciate it.
All right, and then next up, we're gonna have The Hobbit coming up pretty soon. So stay tuned for that.